Babadoa Chi-Chi-Cho, Duel Commander, go, go, go. Duel Commander on the way, Babadoa Chi-Chi-Che. Like and subscribe, please.
Hello, Babadoa Chichi Cho. Welcome to another episode of Duelcast MTG. I am still testing, trying to choose my deck for Duel Commander Cup at MagicCon Amsterdam. So today I'm going to be testing the deck I have by far the most experience with out of all the ones we've played so far, and that is Peter Parker, the Amazing Spider-Man. Peter Parker is 1 and a white for a 0/1. When he enters, he makes a 2/1 spider. Then for 1 and Bant, you can flip him into a 4/4 Vigilance that gives legendary creatures you can control web slinging or in web for Bant. That is probably the least important part of this card. For a really in-depth deck tech, please check out either of my previous Peter Parker videos, and you can get a better feel. I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. Peter Parker's most important thing is that he is a Bant 2-drop that makes an extra body and is a fantastic card to Birthing Pod or Birthing Ritual. So we're playing a lot of pod effects, 4 of them. Birthing Ritual is really a value one. At your end step, you look at 7 cards. You can sack a creature and put one onto the battlefield with CMC +1 or less. Then we've got Neoform, puts a creature onto the battlefield with a counter, Eldritch Evolution, which can get CMC 2 +2 or less, and the classic Birthing Pod. So our main targets for this deck are Abhorrent Oculus, because it's a broken creature, and when you can cheat it in without a graveyard, it feels really good. Harbinger of the Seas, this is a card I do go back and forth on. I think in the current meta, it is not the best card, but I do want to try it today. The reason I don't think it's so great is because the top of the meta is blue decks and monocolor deck. So Tasigur, Spider-Man 2099, Lumra Cloud, Felia, Tifa. So Harbinger's good against Lumra, but it feels like a blank in a lot of matchups. Ranger Captain of Eos to turn off some combo stuff and find some of our powerful 1-drops. And Spellseeker, because Spellseeker gets Ephemerate. You Ephemerate Spellseeker, you grab Neoform, goes to your turn, you can Ephemerate again for a removal spell or a counter spell or something, and then you Neoform her into one of our really powerful 4-drops, which are Bright Glass Gearhulk and Ouroboros, or Under a Mountain Adventurer to take the initiative. I also have Seasoned Dungeoneer and Palace Jailer in here, but this is our Green Suns package. These are the things we want to be Zenithing for. So Dryad Arbor on turn 1 to ramp. Bright Glass is kind of the main toolbox of our deck. Ouroboros is an insane finisher if you have multiple bodies, and I love the initiative. And Undermountain's also a mana dork. So Bright Glass can get us these things. These are like in here because of Bright Glass. So Urza Saga, if we need to hit a land drop or in a control matchup where it's just good. Guide of Souls and Ocelot Pride. Mockingbird, you can grab, a removal spell or a Sylvan Safekeeper, play the Safekeeper, protect the Bright Glass, Mockingbird it, go again. Skull Clamp is really, really great in this deck. Our commander makes 2 X1 bodies, so you kind of have that cloud effect where, your commander can draw you 4 cards. Shadow Spear, life gain, and I've actually used the lose indestructible thing against Ketramos before, which is nice. Tutorable removal and Static Prison and unable to scream. And then Tameo and Skull Clamp is my favorite thing to do in this deck. You Bright Glass, you get both of them, you clamp your idiot, you flip Tameo. It feels so good. We do want to get on board ahead of schedule, so we've got some acceleration here. City of Traders is another card I go back and forth on. All the Reasonable Mana Dorks, Badgermole Cub, and Wild Growth. Cloud can get Pre-War Formalware or Skull Clamp or Shadow Spear. I'm not currently playing Stoneforge Mystic, which is an intentional choice. I want to see how some other cards do. We do have a lot of disruption from our creatures. So Dranith, Frenzied Baloth, or stuff can't be countered. Jennifer Walters as an extra Voice of Victory effect. You can also airbend her with Angswift Savior. Meddling Mage, Voice of Victory, Endurance for Graveyard Disruption, Oko and Teferi. When you can go Mana Dork turn 2 Oko or turn 2 Teferi. The deck feels unbeatable sometimes. Skyclave Apparition, this is also something we can pod into. Opposition is a card I'm trying today. I saw this in a couple other Peter Parker lists, and it just looked sweet to me. We're playing 37 creatures. Our commander makes 2 bodies, and we can just tap down our opponent every turn in their upkeep if we have enough creatures, because you just tap all their lands. So I haven't gotten a chance to play with this yet, but I am excited to see it. Parallax Wave, Reverent Mantra, and Elishnorn, Mother of Machines is a card I am back on. It just feels really good. We have so many powerful ETBs, and so many other decks have powerful ETBs. So using it as a hate piece and extra value, I just think it's strong. You can also pod into this from the flipped side of Peter Parker. We're a little light on targeted removal, which I don't love, but I think it's the way to go. We have all 3 of our channel lands, Boseiju, Aganjo, Adawara. Erode, Prismatic Ending is one of my favorite cards, and I think it's fantastic in the format. Plow, Angswift Savior, which I mentioned, you can airbend Jennifer Walters, you can airbend Peter. Sink into Stupor as our blue MDFC, Witch Enchanter as our white MDFC, Palace Jailer for Monarch value, get rid of something, and Solitude as our other thing we can pod into off of Amazing Spider-Man. 4 counterspells, just the ones that are, in my opinion, the best. So Mental Misstep, Wash Away, Daze, and Subtlety. We're a little light on blue for Subtlety, and we don't always have an island for Daze. So these are the 2 cards I'm thinking about probably maybe chopping for just more removal, but I want to see how they play today. A lot more value with Ephemerate, Felia, and Seasoned Engineer as our other initiative creature. And then an Enlightened Tutor can get us Bright Glass, Parallax Wave, Opposition, Static Prison, Unable to Scream, Birthing Ritual, Birthing Pod. Enlightened Tutor is our best value tutor, even though it is card disadvantage. So with all that said, this is Peter Parker. This is the deck I have the most reps with in paper, and that I top forward with in Dallas at Cool Stuff Con. So it is always on my list of decks that I might be playing, and I want to take it for a spin today. With all that said, let's go duel. Babadoa Chi-Chi-Cho. This video is brought to you in part by Mana Traders. Mana Traders is the rental service I use so that I can bring you all of these different decks super easily. Playing a new deck on Magic Online is as simple as pasting in your list, clicking Rent Deck, accepting the trade. It pops right up. They'll send you the entire list. You just drop it into the trade, click Submit. The best part of all of this is that you can support the channel and get a discount on your subscription using promo code DuelCastMTG. Mana Traders, be a better player.
Let's duel.
Oh. Round number 1 on the play against Elminster. Arguably our worst matchup. They just play so many Wraths. But I do have the Halfling. Yeah, this hand is still good. It's just scary. So this has to be green-blue. All right, so we're going to go Trop Halfling here. The Eldritch Evolution will be castable with the Wild Growth. I think what I might be most interested in is casting Peter, flipping him, and bashing. And just go full aggro and not overcommit to the board for when there's a Wrath, like an inevitable Wrath. We'll see. And this is a matchup where I am perfectly comfortable playing Clock. In theory, I'm still thinking about a prior match, but I'm perfectly comfortable playing this one to Clock because that is often how you beat Control in paper. You try to just go up a game and never concede. So Subtlety doesn't counter anyway. I think this Tundra's a nice draw. The only thing they could have to counter Peter here is a Subtlety, which means I don't have to use Halfling mana, and I get to get in for a point of damage. We can always yield. I always want the spider. I always want the spider. All right, attack for 1, pass. Now, Eldritch Evolution is on the table, but I probably just cast a Birthing Ritual. No, what am I talking about? I'm gonna flip Peter. Flip Peter, attack for 7. Kind of like that. Ooh, Hierarch. No, I don't want to overcommit here. Let's just transform. This will put them to 12. All right, we're just going full aggro. Yeah, Hierarch doesn't actually really do anything. Eldritch Evolution, getting it countered is kind of brutal. Council's Judgment. Okay. I don't love it. They voted for this guy, and he can go back to command zone. So now what? Ephemerate. I wish I'd had that last turn. So I can Eldritch for a 3-drop. Like, I can just put Oculus into play here. Oculus plus Hierarch, hold up, Ephemerate to protect. That seems pretty good. We'll do that. I'll do that. We'll have an eyeball, a spider, and a halfling. Well, we won't have a halfling. We're murdering this halfling. So Iganjo, green. Oh, I will not have enough green mana to do everything I want, but that's okay. I do think putting Oculus into play here is the best thing I can do. So I would like to do it. Can I harbinge them off a color? I can harbinge them off white, and then I still have all my colors. It takes them off of wrathing me. All right, do I think Harbinger is better here than Oculus? I think Wraths are just the worst thing they can do to me. And now I can also show, like, I have blue mana on their turn. Yeah, if I can keep them off of wrathing me, I feel pretty good. And I'm still just bashing for 4. Oculus would have been a lethal attack. This may have been too cute. But if I put Oculus into play and they just remove it, then I've done nothing. Yeah, I like this, actually. I take it back. Oh, opposition. Oh, you don't say. Well, let's bash first. Can I do opposition plus hierarch? I could, but then I lose the ability to save Harbin. Tap an untapped creature. I could just put Birthing Ritual into play. I think I'm into this. And then I'll just pass. See if we hit a good 1-drop. Although I don't know what I have that's like necessarily better than just the 2 power. Yeah, I don't think I want the Avacyn's Pilgrim. I can put Peter into play, but not the opposition. Maybe I should have just cast opposition. I don't super know what it does here, though. Solitude. Sure, this is why we kept the Ephem. They floated a mana. Why did you float that mana? All right, Solitude fizzles. Oh, maybe they have a Stifle to put it into play. That's my guess. Yeah, I think they have some sort of Stifle or Consigned to Memory or whatever to... Oh, no. I thought they were scamming in the Solitude. Play another island. Rebound. I'm just not going to. E-Wave, I can't cast. So I think we go Hierarch, Opposition, attack them for 3, and then upkeep, tap down 2 of their land. Yeah, I like this. This is a safe-ish line. They're doing something. They're auto-warring the Harbin. I don't love that, but I couldn't have done anything about it anyway. Okay, so now they get a turn. I can still tap them off of white mana in their upkeep. So I think basically any creature, I sack this spider. Ocelot Pride, I like that one. Sacrifice our spider, get the Ocelot Pride. Next turn, upkeep, we tap down your white mana. Oh, I almost just used opposition to tap Ocelot Pride to tap Ocelot Pride. All right, and then I'm F6'd. I get to recast Harbinger. Okay, we did it. Opposition was great there. That's exciting, because this is a card I've not been certain about. We got that game through pure and hardy opposition. We oppose their lands. We depose their lands. We suppose their lands should be tapped. I think for this card, I would like my bit to be a sassy southern lawyer who's got nothing to lose. Oh, look, here it is again. Is this hand good otherwise? Yeah, just because Erode is one of our only clean answers to Elminster. Other than that, though, it's pretty bad. We have so many good draws here. I think I'm fine with this. I do keep getting distracted with things, so I'm behind on clock, but it's fine. Okay, they go tapped land pass. I will, I think, also go tapped land pass. I could have cast the Shadow Spear, but yeah, this game's not about life total. I'm feeling so saucy from that Harbinger of the Seas into opposition. And also, that is a big check mark for playing Harbinger. Just like that situation felt really good. All right, sorry, Paether. The spike has forced you back to commands on Paether. I wanted to just straight up neoform him. All right, they played a bounce land. That's great. Blood Farm Verge. Do not have a spell to cast other than Shadow Spear, which I can't super think they care about. Not being on board here is pretty rough. Pretty rough. Can I tap an artifact for you? No, I have to have creatures. Oh, City of Traders. That puts Aether into play. Oh, I only have 1 white source. Dang it. That was dumb. That's right. I have 2 removal spells for Elminster here. So I'll just cast a Pater. He's not going to resolve, but my Pater. That scolding was so stern. Why you gotta be so stern? It makes my commander burn. I wanted him plus a spider. Oh, Brain Surge. I think we've probably lost this game. But I do have 2 removal spells for Elminster. And Bright Glass. I don't know. If they tap out for Elminster here, we maybe have a chance. They didn't. Rude. How dare you play well? Oko, Thief of Crown. Heard that card's good. Doesn't really deal with any of their shiz. I think I just cast Bright Glass. Is that true? Can I double spell? Not well. I wish I could double spell here. I guess I could Neoform Shadow Spear into a 1-drop, which could be Tameo. I'm going to cast Oko here. Yeah, work through the interaction this way, I think. They have a Tail's End. I have no response to that, nor do I have anything to cast. I probably should have just held the City of Traders in play. Spew, spew, spew. Spew, 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 spew. You know, when you spew. Alright. They have 5 cards in hand, 5 mana. Land is a fine draw. I'm gonna crack this. I guess for... Yeah, I should have held that and surveilled. I am playing very loose right now. If I cast Bright Glass, I don't have a road up, but then I can Static Prison. Doesn't huge difference, I don't think. Bright Glass. It will eventually run out of interaction. It just probably won't be for a while. Mana Leak, you got it. Things are not going great. Oh my god, it was a Myriad landscape? Crazy. I don't hate it, but it seems like they're maybe not playing like the most optimized list with the bounce land and a Myriad landscape. I haven't seen a Tundra or fetch lands though, like the good fetch lands. I don't know. All right, you got it. Here's Ellie. Ellie minced. You may do that. We'll attempt a Static Prison. Maybe just... Come on, guy. Surveillance not, I guess, like the worst draw in the world. Counter this. No. Nice. Oh, I don't want a 6. I want a 1. Okay. Let's take a Surveil. Land is not the droids I am looking for. And I'll put an opposition into play, Your Honor. If I can ever get a creature on board, you're in trouble. Will I ever get a creature on board? We'll see. Alright, F6. So long, farewell. Aufsieder saying goodbye. My opposition, it just did die. Doo-doo. Well, I didn't love that for me, but they did just pay 6 mana to kill an opposition. But I'd rather have the opposition. Land was not it. Multiversal Passage can be... I just have all of my colors a million ways. An untapped Plains, I guess. I'll cast Peter yet another time, and then upkeep, I will erode Elminster. Oh my goodness, golly, oh my. We resolved a creature. I'm thrilled. I'm satisfied with that outcome. They have 6 in hand. If this resolves, great. If it doesn't and I draw a land, I just keep casting Peter. There's mana in the pool. It is a logic knot. I can't pay. You know I can't pay.
Come on, guy. Come on, guy. I can't pay for that. You knotted my logic.
Alright, they get to do the Elminster thing. I think at this point, though, if they just, like, make a bunch of fairy dragons, they can kill me in, like, 2-3 turns. But that's not really what I've experienced from people who play Elminster. They seem to like to really, like, grind out the game and Emrakul you, rather than just, like, I don't know, putting a 6 mana spell on top and making 6 flyers. But also, I've never played the deck, so I don't really know what the best strategy is. Ooh, back crack. Ooh, 2. My back's crackling. Like burn hens at a barbecue. Shorikai? Solitude. You got it. Probably hits him. Yeah, because he can flip into a 4/4. I accept. What 1-drop do I have that can change the complexion of this game? Well, Spellseeker's not a 1-drop, but she's real good. Real good here. I wish I could Spellseek for the Erode. I would like to use the ability. Prismatic Ending doesn't really do much. Green Sun Zenith is fine. So we go green, blue. We Neoform the Spellseeker. We get... Oh, is it just Palace Jailer? Yeah, it's Palace Jailer, and then I can Green Sun for Undermount Adventurer. So you're saying there's a chance. I mean, they have 5 cards. I will attack your life points. You could also get Ouroboros, but that's just like, oh, you've been wrathed again. Land is fine, and I will F6. I think Palace Jailer was a good find, because it gets an engine going. All right, you wrathed me. Cool for you. but you don't get Solitude until you take the Monarchy. All right, they made things. Yeah, that makes sense. I think I still have to Green Sun for Undermountain. And that Solitude will come back and get to eat the Undermountain. That might not be where I want to be at. But any creature I Green Sun for, Solitude gets to eat now. Land is not what I was looking for. I can't Green Sun for Elishnorn. What do I have? What does this deck even have in it? Well, I know it doesn't have a 5-drop, so we just Green Sun for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Green Sun Zenith. For all the marbles. No! My Green Sun. You butthole. I'm going to Surveil and try to draw something off the Monarch trigger. Meticulous Archive. Sure, I'll take a creature to cast. Probably didn't actually want that, but yeah, Ocelot Bride doesn't really mean anything here. They've become the Monarch 3 times. What a coronation. Am I right? Get it? Because the Monarch, but there were 3 triggers. Do you get it? Do you get it? Here, you can have whatever you want. I don't really care. I'm just whatever. Literally doesn't matter at this point. I can just concede this game. I'm not having fun sitting here waiting for it. GG's. Now we get to be on the play where we can bash. I won the die roll. Exciting. No, I saw Oko and I was like, turn 2 Oko, but turn 1 Cat into Peter, into Oko or Ranger. And I do think I'm most interested in Oko because of the fact that he is harder to remove than a lot of my other cards. Otawara can bounce Elminster, so I probably just like hold this indefinitely, maybe. See what we draw. E-Tutor. Urza Saga is really good in this matchup, but I don't have a skateboard, which is so annoying. I'll just cast Paether. Combat, declare attackers, attack you for 1, and pass. I can also upgrade this Spider into a 3/3, or upgrade Peter into a 3/3. I'd like to draw an untapped land. Would be pretty cool for me. Ponder, you got it. Did that shuffle? Hey, where's my game log? It's over here. They did shuffle. Love that for me. And they play a tap. You're saying there's a... Oh, baby, untapped land that's saves me from playing the Otawara. We're loving life. Trop. Cast Oko. Green, blue. Create a food. Does this get us to the City's Blessing? That would be sick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We will have the City's Blessing. So I'll actually make another food too. Tight. We're bashing. They go to 15. We make 2 cats and a food. I think I want to upkeep Enlightened Tutor. Is that true? Yeah, I want opposition. Oh my god, they just scooped! In your face, control deck! Ugh. I think it would have been smart to Enlightened Tutor for opposition and just keep them tapped out the whole game. Turn 1 cat on the play, baby!
Hey, some of you may know that I'm an author. This is my first novel that came out in 2018 from Lanternfish Press out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, The Vampire Gideon Suicide Hotline and Halfway House for Orphan Girls. This is a dark comedy about mental health in which a vampire runs a suicide hotline. People call and say how hard life is. His response is that being dead isn't really great. This book comes with heavy trigger warnings. Please find them online. But if you're liking the content, you may like it. There's a link in the description. Thanks so much.
Okay. Round 2 on the draw against Light-Paws. Just bad matchup. I will mulligan this hand. That doesn't go fast or really do anything. White removal's really good, but this hand is obviously bad. Go to 5. This hand is perfectly fine. I'll keep this. Bottom, Palace Jailer, Wild Growth. Yeah, I want to be able to erode Light-Paws. And, they have all the hexproof stuff, but it's harder to give Light-Paws pro-white because it loses all their stuff. So this has to be green-blue. Starting town. Okay. I don't really want to bend that one. I'll play it next turn. So we'll go Trop, the Hierarch, whomst is noble. And Iganjo's actually pretty nice in this matchup. I might go... No, I can't go Cub, hold up Iganjo. But if they jam Light-Paws here, I'll erode. Unless they go hit me, sack, which would be super annoying. But I do want to take Light-Paws off. Okay. You hit me, do you want to sack? Probably. At least I can put a reach creature into play. That 2-drop enchantment that came out in some set. I can still erode and upkeep. I can't think of the name of it. Brilliant Wings? Brilliant Wings? I think that's it. So I just go Badger here. Do I want to bend the starting town? I think so. Is something happening here? So they have the thing where they can go like tap Light-Paws for the 2-drop and then Sheltered by Ghost. No attacks. That would be very, very silly. And then upkeep, erode Light-Paws. Whoops, I tapped wrong. White. I need white. Okay. Yeah. Okay, this is the card I was literally talking about. Enchant creature you control. Enchanted creature has flying and hexproof. That's crazy. And it has flash. Yeah, that card seems pretty good for like it has hexproof, so I can't Aganjo it. So now I need enchantment removal. Is kind of the only way I can play this game, which is a little upsetting. The Light-Paws is really, really good because every set it gets some thing. Oh wow, and this can give pro white and the enchantments don't fall off? Holy cow. Okay, they chose blue. Sure. So I need I took Haywire Might out of the list. I basically need to find what do I need to find? I don't actually know. I'll go to combat. I guess it's Beseiju, like exactly. Had to go help the dog. So I think I just come in for 3 here. I mean, they have to probably have a basic planes. I think I just put Cat and Harbinger into play and see if it matters at all. Because right now they don't have white. So we do this, cast a Cat, tap you for blue, probably tap Hierarch so I don't have to pay life, and then put in Harbinger and Pat. Let's hope they don't have a basic planes in their hand. Maybe they don't. That would be kind of cracked for me. Oh, it looks like they don't. Enlightened Tutor is not draw I'm looking for. I'll cast Pater. That was dumb. Now I can't Enlighten Tutor at end step. I could get opposition and just tap them down every upkeep. Yeah, this was silly, but overall, sure. Combat. They have to have a free aura here. Just swing in with the Ocelot Pride, not super caring if it dies. All right, that works. So I'm going to get cats and spiders. That's pretty good. And then in upkeep, I'll get the opposition. All right, they found a plains. Sad. Sad. So what do you have here? Some creature. Oh no, it's an enchantment. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and vigilance, and it has escape. So what 1-drop enchantment do you have that like really matters here is the question. Lifelink would be unexciting. I guess I could actually... Can I cast Bright Glass? No, I don't have double white. I do have double green. I was thinking if I get Bright Glass and Static Prison and Unable to Scream. Oh no, this thing's just 7/7 now. It has hexproof, so I can't tap it down. I will block. So what enchantment do I have that matters? I mean, Springheart Nantuko I cut from the list, and that would be pretty good right here. Let me consult my list. I could get Birthing Ritual. I could get Birthing Pod. If I get Birthing Pod, can I put Elish Norn into play? I don't think so. I could get Skull Clamp and just kind of go nuts. I think I'm interested in that. Just drawing 50 cards, chump blocking for a couple turns. Because I don't have the mana to flip Peter and pod him is the thing. And I can't get Spell Seeker. I'm not playing Survival of the Fittest either, which I think is the other one I might just want. What is this? Flash Knife. So now they get a 2-drop. I don't have any sort of Edict effect. It has to be like Bright Glass, which I can't cast because of the stupid Harbinger. It has to be like Bright Glass for Static Prison and Unable to Scream. Static Prison, the On Brilliant Wings. Unable to Scream, Light-Paws. Tricky game. So should I Enlighten Tutor at all? Yeah, you just get Skull Clamp here. Yeah, I'll grab a Skull Clamp and draw a bunch of cards. Right, Urza Saga's an island. Unable to Scream, that thing has Skull Clamp, or I could get Static Prison. No, I don't have the white mana to cast it. And I'm bleeding out to Light-Paws pretty badly. Although I can chump it this turn. But then if they have a 2-mana aura, they can Sheltered by Ghost my reach creature. I can't flip Peter because I don't have white mana. I could just opposition and tap them down until I figure it out. I think I'm going for pod here. Just like have my whole deck at my fingertips, I think is the way to go. Oh, I can Skyclave the On Brilliant Wings. That's kind of tight. Oh, Magic Online casting with Phyrexian mana is such a pain. So I think before anything, I go to combat. I attack with my things that are not reach creatures. It's a good chunk of damage, at least. And then we pod away... I guess it's gotta be Peter. So I can Skyclave their Brilliant Wings and then try to find a way to deal with Light-Paws. Yeah, because I'll be able to pod... Yeah, I'll be able to pod into Bright Glass and hopefully just take care of this. All right, we're going to take the Brilliant Wings because that's by far the biggest issue here. And then I pod the Skyclave into Bright Glass, and I can get Static Prison and Guide of Souls, and then just be so far ahead on life. I think that makes sense. If they can remove the Skyclave, that just sucks for me. All right, so this probably gets Flickering Ward, which can get all their annoying hexproof stuff, or it gets a hexproof thing. Yeah, it's Flickering Ward. Makes sense. Harbinger has been pretty clutch here for tempo purposes, so maybe I am starting to believe in this more. All right, Spirit Link. So they're going to gain a bunch of life this turn. Or if they can go pro-green, they might just be able to kill me. Paying the 4 life to the pod. All right, so they can put me to 1. That leaves me at 1. And they'll gain a ton of life, but I think I can come back from that. I don't need this upkeep stop anymore. Oh, we just drew him? Oh, that sucks. Wait, that's like the worst draw in my deck. I can't cast it. That's so sad. I guess I can just go Spellseeker for Prismatic Ending. I don't have a 2-drop in play. It would have to be the Badger. Can I just play this game without the Badger? Think so? What an awful draw. Yeah, this is the game I already tried to erode. I guess I could just plow him, because Peter costs 4. All right, let's float a bunch of mana, pot away the Badger, and then I will have the colors I need to Prismatic End Light. Yes, use the ability. Is there any point in plowing him over ending? I don't believe there is. Wait, let me see this Flickering Ward. Okay, they gave protection from green. Sick. 2 cards in hand. Is one of them a free aura that saves your life? Okay, we did it. Found the line. Scary. Scary, scary, scary against Light-Paws. Harbinger of the Seas, though. But I think they, now they'll know to just keep basics the whole time. But still, Light-Paws is a very scary matchup. Happy with how I navigated. Okay. Game 2, I think I can keep the Halfling, Voice of Victory. I don't love Oculus being in my hand, but this is just a generically good hand. I'd rather see some interaction for Light-Paws, so maybe this is bad, but I am willing to keep it up a game on the draw. But for choosing my deck for Amsterdam, just like knowing this deck so well really appeals to me. I want to pay 2 life here. I think so. Life total matters a lot against Light-Paws, but this might just be a mana tithe. Nope. Okay. So we have shown them quite a bit of removal. And if they jam Light-Paws here, I will Skyclave it. Granith. That's fine. Honestly, I don't super care about it. Another Shockland, though. I do care about that. So we get Trop with the Wooded Foothills and cast Voice of Victory and pass. I do want to start getting cards in a grave for Oculus, too. Spectacular Spider-Man. Interesting. And Giver. I would not have expected this card out of Light-Paws. All of these things are bad for me, though. It does mean they don't have a handful of auras, is the saving grace of it. Another fetch land that puts something in the graveyard. I think I have to take the Giver. Yeah, I do. Okay. Skyclave your Giver. And I don't have attacks, so I'll pass. This could be Light-Paws and a 2-drop aura. And the reason I'm taking Giver is because this is a one-off effect and they were tapped out of it. All right, here's Paws, scary. Werewolf Bar Mitzvah, spooky, scary. Boys becoming men, men becoming wolves. Drawing Bright Glass would probably be pretty sick. Or Ouroboros would be probably pretty good. Any 2-drop gets them that Brilliant Wings card, and I've used a big part of my removal. All right, they don't attack. So this is probably some sort of flash something or other. I am flooding out. Doesn't feel great. They can't cast spells this turn. Just dealing so much damage to myself with lands. Now I wish I hadn't shocked. I'm gonna get, I think, basic plains. I have more green mana dorks. Well, Harbinger is actually a complete brick now, so whatever. But I think I just have to yield the turn here. All right, not feeling good about this game. Just exactly nothing relevant in hand. I'm still 2 cards in grave away from Oculus. Even if that comes into play, they're just ahead. Light-Paws really is so much card advantage. I think I can probably just concede this game, honestly. I don't know what I could draw that deals with any of what's going on. So they're going to get the Sheltered by Ghosts. I can't do anything about it. They're going to take the Skyclave instead of the Voice. That's interesting to me, because if I can deal with Light-Paws or the Sheltered by... if I can deal with the Sheltered by Ghosts now, I get that back. Enchanted creature has, whenever it attacks alone, it gets +1,000,000/1,000,000. It has life. If they don't kill me this turn, I'll take 1 draw step. And maybe it would have been better to Skyclave the Dranith while I could and get Peter into play, but I don't feel like Peter does a ton in this matchup. All right, so this is going to get plus a million, plus a million. Oh, wait. Why didn't it? Yeah, 12, plus 12, plus 12. Or plus 8, plus 8. Yeah, I'll take a draw step and see. I don't have any sort of Wraths in this deck. I was thinking about Avatar's Wrath. I think that card's really good. So this can fly. I don't have another creature to go to 2. I can't get a flyer on board here. God of Souls was not good. I probably should have just surveilled. I don't know why I didn't. I'm going to surveil here and then concede just to see if it would have mattered. It would have. It would have mattered. Upsetting. Okay. Yeah, if I surveil the guide away, I pick up the Bright Glass, I static prison the Sheltered by Ghost. No, it doesn't matter because of Spider-Man. Okay. On the play, Meddling Mage we're keeping. It is that simple for me at the moment. And I should have surveilled, but that might just be fine to do later. So they have to have, like, basically creature Sheltered by Ghosts or Plow. I will be in trouble once that happens, but I guess they could also have Mana Tithe would be pretty bad for me here. But I'm going to... Is it better to Voice of Victory? I don't think so. I think I just jammed this into play. Okay. It paid off, at least for now. Light-Paws, Emperor's Voice. Let me double check. Yes. Okay. Feels good to have this in play. They did have the Plow. All right. Well, it's annoying. Nothing I can do about it, but it is annoying. Just draw removal right now. Just draw removal right now. That's not removal. Saga. I think I just go Elf Peter. Yeah, Plow. And then they would have had to Plow Voice of Victory on their own turn. Cast. I think it's still right. Because, again, like, that's one of the few cards in their deck they had to have there. So now Brilliant Wings is, like, a real problem for me. Because it means I can't jail Paws. This can be Skull Clamp, though, so... Spirit Mantle, you have protection from creatures. Awesome! Ugh. So if this gets Brilliant Wings, we're in very, very, very bad shape. Yeah, we're pretty soft to Light-Paws. I guess I could rip Birthing Pod and Skyclave the Spirit Mantle, but then if they have the wings right now, that's pretty rough. Oh, they're going for Sheltered by... Okay. That's ward and protection from creatures. So if I rip my own Plow, or my own Erode... They took the Elf. But this is probably a 1-mana protection spell. I can't... It's not like I can play around. Yes, I can. No, because it has ward. Frick on a stick. So I can't jail you. I can't block you. I don't have enough mana to go Voice, Shadow Spear, and Equip. I could... Man, this feels bad. I think I have to go Voice here to have a chance. And that means I should have surveilled here with the Hedge Maze. But I've gotten so into the habit of just, like, play your land because I often forget. So I'll put the Shadow Spear into play to use my mana. And the scariest part about Light-Paws is I might just be dead. Like, on their turn, I might just die. I could have also gone Palace Jailer on nothing, but then I lose the Monarch right away. I don't think that would have been good either. All right, let's see if we're done or not. What is this? +1/+2 in Vigilance. You cast it during your main phase. He gets lifelink. He already has life. Does the aura that gives plus for each aura just kill me here? I don't want to crack this fetch in case I can't fetch. This matchup is horrific, though. So are, well, Tifa's a little bit better. It's just, it's slightly easier to interact with, but this matchup is bad. So he's 9/9. Then there's the Brilliant Wing, so now he has Hexproof. I don't think I can win. Ooh, this deck is cracked. I have heard people muttering that maybe Light-Paws should be banned now because of this card. Just, like, non-blue decks are just so rough. And then it still has a lot of tools to fight the non-blue decks with things like Voice of Victory and Grand Abolisher. I've seen lists play Defense Grid, which I think is crazy because they have so much flash stuff, but yeah, they'll just have all the flash protection. This also, like, I don't think Light-Paws is too powerful. It doesn't, like, crush events or anything, but this is a feels bad play pattern. So they can put me to 1, so I can't fetch. All right, they're at 39. It's not great for me. Again, I don't even know what I could draw. Badger is certainly the Skull Clamp. I'll Surveil. Subtlety is way too little, way too late. Clamp Peter. I only have 2 mana to play with. Witch Enchanter would not have gotten it done because of all of these things that Light-Paws has. So I'll fetch. Fetch to death! Fetch to death! Give me my lands, even if it puts me 2-0. Fetch to death! All right, GG's.
This is my latest book, My Therapist Says This Grief Journal is a Good Idea, that was released in March of 2025 by Lanternfish Press. This is a dark comedy about family trauma that explores how important dogs are to the healing process. It is the literal grief journal of a man in his mid-20s whose father had tragically passed away, learning to grieve. It also comes with trigger warnings, but please consider checking it out. Link in the description below. Thanks.
Right. Round 3 on the draw against Slimefoot. I kind of like my hand. It stinks to pitch the Witch Enchanter to Solitude, but killing their mana dork is so important. And I don't have a mana dork of my own, but I don't really love taking a bunch of mulligans against Slimefoot because I have so many 2-for-1s. Birthing Ritual could be a nice card in this. I could also pitch to Ferry to keep the land. Ferry's just really good. But if they go just turn 1 mana dork, I'll take my draw, see if I find a white card I'd rather pitch. Yep, there's the bird. Aha, it won't gain life. Aha. Yeah, Solitude on the draw is so nice. Pod. I like Pod. I think... What do I pitch? Is it insane to pitch to Ferry? I really want 3 lands. This might come back to bite me, but it also might not. And let's just hope it might not. I had a lot of draw steps. I should have pitched the Witch Enchanter. Although, blowing up like a Goblin Bombardment or a Chaos Defiler if need be. I'll have the Pod now. I think this is... We're kind of, honestly, the Bant version of Slimefoot and Squee. But our commander's a 2 is very relevant. They have a follow-up play. Sad for me. Wild Growth. Okay. But no follow-up to the Wild Growth. So I want to surveil off of blue-green because I want this to be... No, I want to surveil off of blue-white because I want this to be a forest. Enlightened Tutor. Are you even good? Hard Disadvantage isn't really what I want, but you are just a good card, actually. I will keep it. Then I'll go Forest. Yeah, because it just gets so many cards in this deck. And Pay Aether. And then we have options for next turn. A lot of options for next turn, actually. Oh, that's brutal. Bowmasters is brutal against me right now. Peter dies. Peter to Command Zone. And Spellseeker Ephemerate next turn, but I don't have the mana to do all of it, which doesn't thrill me. Hope they don't have one of their very, very strong 4-drops here. All right, it's Slimy. I guess I could take them off red-black with a Harbinger at some point. I'll just take the 1 here. If I E-Tutor, I have 2 mana and have to pay 3 life. I don't think I need to Enlighten Tutor here. Granith is too late, so I think I go Birthing Ritual, tapped land. And then we just try to flip the spider into a reasonable 1-drop. Did we find one? I'll take a bird. All right. Pass from way behind. Way behind. Yeah, I'm just taking all the damage. I'm just gonna F6 here. This is a lot. 4, 5, 6. If they kill the bird, I probably just scoop. Douthie isn't great for me, but it's not the worst card to see. Really wish I had a Wrath or 2. So I think I spell seek, say yes, take the Ephemerate, because I just want to do that now. Then I'll just grab a Plow, pass, and hope to hit something reasonable off this Birthing. Doesn't look like we did. I think that's game. So there's a Noble Hierarch. I'll just sack the bird into a blocker here. It's like the Avacyn Spellgrim chump blocks at this point. If they kill the Spellseeker, I'm probably cooked. Frenzied Baloth. This is probably too much damage. 3, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13. I block 3 of it. So I get to see 1 more turn. Yeah, I just don't know what I even have. Or is this... Did I not count this? No, I go to 1. Okay. And they Magus me. So I think I'm just dead. Okay, game 2. Yeah, I never really got going after they killed Peter. Cat on the play. They have tons of removal, but Cat on the play and Eldritch Evolution, it's hard for me to say no to that. And I have 2 basics, and I might just go for Harbinger. I could mulligan for a dork. There's a lot of lands. But it's hard for me to mulligan away an Ocelot Pride on the play. Just if they don't answer it, they're in such rough shape. And it usually gets answered, so we'll see. I'm going to lead on Hallowed Fountain, cast my cat, and pass. Don't do animal cruelty, opponent you know you don't want to. Don't do animal cruelty, opponent you don't want to hurt this cat. Look at that cute little cat. There ain't no doubt about that. Don't do animal cruelty, opponent. It's a utopia sprawl. Thank you for... Oh, they did animal cruelty! No! Ooh, Cloud. How do we feel about the card Skull Clamp? Probably pretty good. Opponents are always just, like, doing animal cruelty. It's insane how allowed that is. They should have hexproof. The card's already stupid as it is. Just give it hexproof. I think they probably want to kill Cloud before I draw 4 cards, but they tapped for red and then untapped. All right, it's Slimefoot. I can live with that. Do I just go for Harbinger now? Because, like, Skull Clamp's fine. It does take me off white. No, it takes me off too much mana, I think. I mean, it seems crazy not to just draw 4 cards, but Ang changes the equation for me a little bit. Plus Peter's 2 bodies. Well, I played the wrong land, so Eldritch Evolution's off the table. I think I just pass. Yeah, I'm just going to pass here. Yeah, I played the wrong land, so whatever. I'm just going to bend Slimy here. It's the same amount of Saplings as if they just attack. I guess I could have also gone Flash in, Bend Cloud, Chump, and then gone and gotten like Pre-War Formalware. That might have been better. It's almost certainly better. But this gets Elish Norn. And Elish Norn is probably really hard for them to... I think I want to Eldritch for Elish Norn. They're going to grief me. Oh, that's upsetting. Okay. I'd probably lose the Eldritch Evolution. I think it would be kind of silly to take the Skull Clamp. Although they're both very good. Oh, they took the Skull Clamp. Okay. I mean, I get it. Oh, Safekeeper. Also quite nice. But I won't have triple green for all of that this turn. Wait, I should not do this yet. I should attack for 2 first. Yeah, I should attack first. Also Eldritch Cloud into Bright Glass. Unable to Scream the Badger. I don't think that's as good as Elish Norn. And this is nice because Elish Norn is a card that comes in and out of my list quite often. So getting to see it in a matchup where I do believe it's good, kind of exciting. Eliana pass. Now Peter will make 2 spiders. We want that Skull Clamp back. It actually is annoying that they took the Skull Clamp for sure. Oh, don't have a Terminate or something. Emperor of Bones. So that can get Ang, but they don't have ETBs. So I don't think I care. I also get... All right, they are going to get Ang. I guess that stops me from pre-warring it. What do you have to bring back? You have the Canker Bloom to bring back? I'm just going to take 3 here. Because they... Wait, they don't have enough mana. Unless they have land in hand. They don't have ETBs. I think I'm just fine taking this block. Because it has to be, like, Ghostfire Slice? Dismember. Well, that's a blowout. And I didn't have to do it. Because I could have waited to put the Safekeeper in play. So that was pretty atrocious. Baloth doesn't matter. Yeah, I deserved it. They are hellbent. All right, I'll just put as many bodies into play as I can. I do want to shame concede, though, for the record. Yeah, that was sad. I knew better. I really did. And, like, what does the 3 damage even mean there? And now they get to use Emperor. I'm out. I'm out. Punted. Punted to the Dismember. On the play, round 4 against King Chala. This deck has been putting up results. I believe it is just blue-white control. I'm going to keep my hand and just try to resolve turn 2 Teferi. Against any sort of blue-white flash deck, that's where I want to be in life. I think this is basic forest. Or would I rather? I think I'd rather it be basic plains, actually. So I'll go Trop Pilgrim. Yeah, like if I get to go Teferi Ouroboros, I think life is probably pretty hard for them. Or I can go Teferi Flash and Endurance is also a play I have available to me. But if they are just blue-white control, Wraths are still our worst enemy. And this being a flash threat makes it more difficult to play around than something like Elminster. So we shall see. I do really like the art for this card, and the backside is... Can I look at the backside? No. The Black Panther side of this card is sweet. All right. Pilgrim pass. And if this dies, we just follow up with Peter, and then hopefully find our land to follow that up with Teferi. Go tapped land pass. That would be my ideal scenario. All right, Prismatic. I don't know how good the initiative will be here, but I am always jamming Teferi. All right, we're in there. I'm trying to decide, do I minus on nothing or plus? I think I minus on nothing. And we found another initiative creature. Would love a land. Land would be super cool. I don't have green to flash and endurance, nor do I have green Ouroboros. What do you have here? Get lost on Teferi. Okay, that is a clean answer. Land. Come on. Really deck. Map. Cloud, yes to graveyard. Map. Jennifer Walters, yes to graveyard. I'm just looking for that land. And I'll hit them for 3 and pass. I added 2 lands to this deck. We're playing... Or no, I added 1 land to the deck. So including MDFCs, we're playing 40 lands. Now they have Chala up and all their counter spells up. I really wanted to just... Oof, deck. This is sad. I can't even cast the Endurance. I'll just cast Pater. He does not resolve. He is scolded. I would like to return into commands. Combat, and I'll attack for 3. If they have a flash blocker here, that's just brutal, but okay. I at least have some pressure. Land. Untapped land. Untapped land. Nope, it's Dryad Arbor. I hate my life. I'll attack for 3 with the ability to ephemerate to save it, I guess. Yeah, missing all these land drops and drawing all of our 4 drops doesn't feel great. Here's King Chala. You got it. And then a Brainstorm. So they'll draw... Oh, that's really cool. They'll draw 4 cards and put 2 back. So this is just a 1-mana Brain Surge now. Because the cool thing with Chala is it's when a player draws their second card, not when an opponent does, like Fairy Mastermind. So this thing's just really good card advantage. Prismatic Ending, I will ephemerate because I need that mana. All right, then they hit their land drop, 5 cards in hand. They do not attack. Rebound, we don't want to do that. Saga's probably a really good. Do I want to go Palace Jailer here? I could just cast Bright Glass, but then I have no follow-up if I do. And I really want that card to resolve, so let's cast the Palace Jailer. I don't imagine this will resolve. Oh, and them taking the Monarch is actually horrific for me. They're going to draw 2 here off this remand. Yeah, them taking the Monarch would be really, really bad because with their commander, it draws 2 cards. But we're at least playing the game now. If they go for Mystic Sanctuary, I will dump the Undermountain Adventurer. Okay. They dumped a Sink into Stupor, which means they're just full of other interaction, which is sad for me. Marching the Saga. Yep. They stone rained me. What did you dump for that? Oh, right, you didn't have to. Yeah, they're just playing hard control. All right, another land drop. I think I just go for Bright Glass now. I'm just going to keep dumping threats into play. Logic Knot. You got it. I cannot pay, so I shan't. And I'll pass. And I left, well, we had to tap that way to cast Bright Glass, but I could have grabbed Unable to Scream, would have been nice. Now they can bonk me for 3. I think they just should. But I don't know their life, I don't know their hand. They are not interested in attacking. Can this guy flip at instant speed? I think he can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 6, 7. Yeah, I'm not happy about saying it, but I say it every time now. This guy can't take damage when he flips. I think I just try to Palace Jail again. Not going to resolve, but slowly but surely working through this. Oh, dressed up. Yuck. Okay, that's sad for me. But I have 3 more 4-drops to cast, and they only have 3 cards in hand now. So it's about... Oh, did they draw 2 off that? No, they only drew 1. And Remand only drew 1. That's right. They remanded on their own turn. It's second card. This card's cool. I tried it in the last video with Blue-White Aang, and it didn't seem phenomenal in that deck, but I think in the command zone it might be great for a control shell. Come on, just flip him attack, and I'll just block. Celestial Colony. That's a good one. You're a 4/4 with flying and vigilance. Okay. Man, I wish I had Blue-White Aang and I could stone ring. Because Aang works on man lands. It does not work on earthbent lands, what I learned. So they have a flyer now that can just like take the initiative from me. So I think I just try to go Ouroborroid. I should have left blue up so I could use mana for this, but okay. We're in there. Maybe we're not. They're going to plow the Ouroborroid. Wait, please do not. I almost just clicked through it when I just drew the perfect answer to that card. They had a... All right, they're down to 1 card in hand, and I'll pass. So if I draw... Well, Seasoned Engineer can get me a land. Tithe. That's good for 1 card. They can flip this jerk. They're cycling an Irrigated Farmland. They'll draw 2. That's so sick. Tech Edge. That's not great for me. In fact, it's quite bad for me. They're going to kill the Dryad Arbor. Yeah, because I needed to get the initiative. Okay, they're not attacking, which means they have things to do. If I ever bend this guy... Oh yeah, I'll let this become a creature and try to bend it. Or I could bend the Palace Jailer's probably better. Memory Deluge? Consult the star chart. I have to be fine with it. Do I? Yeah, it has to be fine. Maybe I should be attacking with the Palace Jailer. No, they gas this up and kill it. That's right. They're looking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 deep for 2 cards. That is a bona fide 4-mana dig through. A little bit better, actually. They got to look at 1 more card. Teferi Hero. Yeah, it just has to be okay. And they're, of course, going to plus, and it draws 2. I think I'm cooked. I think I'm very, very cooked. End step, I will cast Aang. Or it's still the main phase, crud. I thought we were in end step. I needed to wait for that to trigger, but at this point, it doesn't like make a huge difference. Try to bend my jailer. They untap 2 lands. This is yucky. Meddling Mage doesn't actually do anything now. Cast the jailer. Never resolving here. Preving it. And I took myself off green. No. I misclicked on the jailer, but it doesn't matter. What do I even name with this? They don't care. They don't care either. I think I'm just good going to the next game here. They're drawing 3 cards a turn. That was pretty sick. That was so much card advantage. All right, so maybe we just have like a brand new blue-white control shell. This is not keepable. This isn't great, but it does hit their commander. It's only sorcery speed. This hand's bad, but I get to surveil. I think I just put back the land that hurts me, because basic forest is potentially good, and they might also be on Harbinger. So yeah, I think I just put back the land that hurts me. They're also on 6. And the hard control decks don't normally play a Stifle, but I don't really know their deck, so I am very willing to fetch around it. I need white over green. So we'll get the Meticulous Archive. Something good, please. That's good. Might not be great against them, but it is good, so I will keep it. It is a good spell. They drew so many cards that game. That was sick. All right, cast Aether. Were we on the play that last game too? Man, that was brutal. Turn Scolding, you got it. Back to command zone. Now I need to draw something to do. Yeah, and them having the get lost for the Teferi too. Everything just lined up, which will happen. Oh no, I hate you right now, deck. I could just put a 2/2 into play. I'm low-key fine with this. It gets Eldritch Evolutioned, so yeah, I didn't think they would particularly care about that. And I can ephemerate it is the big deal. They oust him. Okay, that puts him back into my deck. Oh, did you miss your land drop? Sick. Solitude's probably really good because I can scam it. Solitude Ephemerate is a thing. Cast Paether. All right, Paether is in. And then I draw my Skyclave. So I can just go flip bash. I think I'm into just flip bash here. Combat. Attack. Here is 6. All right. They're stumbling. So I'm going to go full bashies. Elish Norn probably doesn't matter in this matchup. They've shown me basically no ETBs. And yeah, it doubles our ETBs, which is nice, but whatever. Aang is a great draw. But if I bend Chala, it lets them cast the backside. So maybe it's not that good of a... Aang is great because it pitches to Solitude. All right, Chala resolves. We Solitude... I think pitching Aang. We put the Evoke on the bottom. We get your Chala, and then we ephemerate the body and pass. They have a Force of Negation. Sad. Sad. I mean, it's still overall fine. Let's put them back to 11. But he costs 5 now. And it's clearly like an insane engine. This can be a 2-drop. All right, they're packing it in. Tight. Game 3. Cat on the play. Or I go Elf. Might be better to go Elf. Or no, I'm on the draw. So I'm definitely going out. Talking about tapped land's not thrilling. But I will go Elf. And then I can go Peter. All right, Elf resolves. Makes me wish I'd cast the cat. All right, I'll try to get them to use interaction on Peter and follow it up with the cat. Ooh, opposition might be sick here. I do have blue eventually. All right, so I need blue and white. Cast Paether. Countered. Nice. What we're looking for here, actually. Yes to command zone and Ocelot Pride. And Ocelot Pride plus opposition has to be pretty good. They will now be able to flash in Chala to block, is a little annoying, but they're just going to Prismatic End. That is allowed. Untapped land? Oko. Very rare that I won't take Oko. Cloud, I do just want lands. Although, Skull Clamp, pretty good. I do think I just want lands. Like, if I get mana screwed, I'm never winning this game. And we're working through their interaction. They're going to Logic Knot, that's fine. Wish I had an Elvish Spirit Guide right there for the blowout. Next turn I can just cast Ouroboros. Ouroboros good. They're down to 3 cards. Palace Jailer on nothing. That really sucks for removal spell, take the Monarch. Eventually they will run out of counter spells. Okay. Would like to draw land. I was hoping to draw land that turn. But a stupid Palace Jailer. Come on, untapped land. Untapped land. Hey, I'm the best. Alright, cast the Ouroboros. Stern Scolding. You got it. Combat. I can't attack because their commander has flash. Alright, 2 cards in hand. Will be 3. And then we saw how quickly this can get out of control. But I think I'll go for Palace Jailer over P-Wave. Consider draws 2. That's so sick. Seam Rip my Elf. I would still like to draw an untapped land so that I can Static Prison Chala and Palace Jail. Elf. So I think I go Elf. We've cast him, right? Elf, Static Prison, and eat Chala here. I have learned from that first game that I cannot let him stick to the battlefield. All right. They left him in there, which I think is fine. Hopefully I get to resolve P-Wave or Palace Jailer. They're going to get lost on it right away. Get lost is so good. All right, 2 cards in hand, and they are going to come in. I'll just take the 3. Oh, they can flip. Shit. Oh, they didn't. Nice. Stink into Stupor. I'm gonna cast the Palace Jailer. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. So they're gonna draw 3. Okay. I mean, this is a lot of interaction. Like, they have a lot of air in their deck. They could just eventually miss. It's just this thing is drawing a lot of cards. I will pay the 3 life and I'll map here. Yeah, I don't care about endurance at this point. And then I'll pass. I need to be able to block if they do decide to flip this guy. Okay, he can only flip as a sorcery. This isn't like Aang's Waterbending. Yeah, they're back up to 5 cards. They were at 1. Teferi probably wins them the game. Yeah, that draws another card. Holy sheesh. Cool to see this deck. I haven't actually seen this yet. Yeah, I just had everything broken up. I can't tap this way. I need to put a P-Wave into play. I'll eat Chala. I don't really see this buying me very much time, but I will take the time I can get. And then I'll cast an Elf and pass. Not going to resolve. You got it. They're still at 22. I have been able to apply no pressure this game. Yeah, they've just dealt with everything. Fairy plus, P-Wave. Otawara can bounce to Fairy. That's not nothing. Actually, it kind of is, because I don't really want to reset his counters. All right, Sylvan Safekeeper's in there. And then I think I cast Peter. Not going to resolve. Oh, Mana Tithe. All right, I could have played around it. This is brutal. For my plays, I don't really have any. Here's a sorcery at instant speed. The Farewell. Marching the P-Wave. I guess I could have held up Otawara. All right. I have a chump blocker. Very pluses. They're going to flip here for sure. No? I don't really think they have to do anything. Just like attack me for 3. All right, they're going to flip. I am forced to block here. This is the law. Still have 4 cards. I'm getting eaten alive. This thing is... The front side of this is crazy. Tameo, Otawara, opposition, and tap down your attacker will be my plan. They can bounce this and counter probably, but... Alright, I will then map onto Tameo. Put the reveal card into your graveyard and lighten. I can't cast that at instant speed, so I don't think I want it. In your upkeep, I will tap down your creature. Opposition, I think, is a card I really like in this deck. We're still going to lose this game, but... Oh, they just have Manamo. Never mind. GG. Wow. That was... This thing drew so many cards. We still got there in the one game, but that drew so many cards. So during this 5th and final match, my computer came unplugged for a minute, and I lost the first part of the footage, so I'm going to go through this in the replay, and then pick it up in the second game where everything came back on. So let's do it. So we're playing against Captain America First Avenger, and I have no idea what they're doing. In my head, it was like definitely Hammer Time, but I don't think that came up. It seemed throughout this like they were closer to Aragorn than Satya. But so I just kept a hand that ramps a bunch, interacts, and gains some life, thinking, you know, I'll just get on board, make them answer everything, and then draw real well. So I went Guide of Souls into Peter, try to gain the 2 life, get the 2 energy, and I was more interested in Guide of Souls resolving anyway, but they tithe Peter. Now that they're holding up 3 mana, I'm like, okay, they're just, you know, Aragornish. But I don't want to rip this Ouroboros into a counterspell. So I go for the Badger to just make a bunch of mana, get my attack in, and pass. And so when they didn't cast Captain America, like when they didn't just jam him, that's when I started thinking like, okay, they want to be some sort of tempo deck. And they cast Skrelv, which I found to be a little annoying, but I'm just going to attack with Guide of Souls and pass because I have both Aang and Boseiju. It looks like I thought about casting Ouroboros and then it was like, what am I doing? That's really funny. So hopefully end step here, I just bend Skrelv. Yeah, okay. They replicate a lose focus. So now hopefully I surveil. Please surveil. Oh my gosh, look at me. And I'm not close to Oculus, so I bin that. I'm also thinking about Bosejuing Skrelv, because that card seems really annoying in this spot. But I get to resolve Ouroboros. They force spike my elf. I don't super care about that. So I'm going to get in for my 2 points of damage here. The thing with Captain America, too, is I could barely read this treatment, and it was making me crazy. So then they just, like, cast him and concede, which I thought was a little weird, but if they can't answer the Ouroboros, I get to cast Peter, Besage their Skrelv. I have the biggest creatures. I can fly the Ouroboros, make it even bigger. So I think that was a fine point to pack it in. They basically, you know, countered a bunch of spells and conceded. So I wasn't really sure what was happening going into game 2. So now I'm going to mulligan. I'm going to keep a hand with Hierarch into Peter into initiative. They start off with a Giver, which doesn't thrill me, but it's not the worst thing. I'm going to get a Trop so I can Daze. Here's the Hierarch. If this dies, whatever. But I'm going to Daze the Lightning Greaves. And I remember at this moment thinking, like, do I really want to Daze this on the draw? But then having the Hierarch, you know, it's kind of like I'm just hitting my land drop on 2. And my thinking is any deck that is playing Lightning Greaves really wants Lightning. The card is fine, but I think the decks that are using a slot for it, like, really want it. And I just figured it was too scary. I'm going to Daze it. Now we're back to my turn. Ang is a good draw. I'm going to cast Peter here. The nice thing with Ang is if nothing relevant happens, I can bend Ang, or I can bend Peter, chump with Ang, and cast the backside of Peter for 2. But now they do jam Cap, who I realize at this point is probably just like clunky removal. You know, you attach an equipment. I'm going to bend their Giver here. And then they're going to recast the Giver, crack their fetch. Oh, I was saying you can cast Amazing Spider-Man for 2 if you bend it. They have no equipment to attach, and they don't attack, which I thought was weird. But now they have Pippin, so they have 2 Giver effects. And I am going to flip Peter and attack for 5 because of the Exalted trigger. Any block they want to make here is fine with me. I don't really know why they wouldn't block and protect, but I don't know their hand. I don't know their life. So here's a Skull Clamp, and I hate that for me. And now they can hold up their 3 mana, throw the Skull Clamp to kill my Hierarch. It doesn't seem very, very good to me, but I don't know what other synergies they have. So I have a Flying Attacker. I'm just going to chip shot for 3 on this very stable board. They are clearly not, like, really interested in pushing back. And now they're going to unequip the Skull Clamp. So pay 3 mana, unequip the Skull Clamp to deal 1 to a creature. And Pure Steel Paladin is scary, but they're nowhere near Metalcraft. I'm just going to, I think, take this 5, right? Yeah. So I just take the 5. They can kill my bird here, and for whatever reason, they don't. So now I have Urza Saga active. I get to hit them for 2. I think this is where the power went out, maybe, but the replay is just, like, picking it up, so I'm going to stay in the flow. So they choose now to kill my bird, which I thought was kind of strange, but I'm not going to fight over it because I just don't super care. And then here's Solitude, and I'm just going to subtlety that right off the bat, and that leads to the concession. So this was match 5. Our opponent's deck seemed a little clunky to me, or maybe they just didn't draw great. Either way, it's pretty easy 2-0 where they didn't do much either game and conceded both of them. So we'll take those. All right, that is a 2-3 finish with Peter Parker. Overall, a pretty unexciting league, but also this deck is very much for, like, Cloud, Felia, and I feel like it has a lot of Game Against Spider-Man 2099, and none of those are the decks we saw. Round 1 against Elminster, the Harbinger of the Seas turned out to be really good. And then we got controlled in game 2 and then ran them over in game 3. Looks like they maybe missed a land drop, and we had Ocelot Pride on the draw. Hard to beat that. Light-Paws is a really bad matchup, and I think that deck is growing in popularity because of that card Brilliant Wings that just gives hexproof. It's just flying in hexproof. So lost that one, but we're able to navigate the one game with, like, Birthing Pod, Skyclave, Prismatic Ending with a Spellseeker, and, like, Bright Glass. It was very, very complicated, and I had to figure out the lines with a Birthing Pod, and it then just got absolutely annihilated twice. Slimefoot really ran over us. I punted on the Elishnorn dismember thing and then shame scooped. But I think we probably weren't winning that game anyway. I guess Peter could have made 2 spiders, and then we drew like Frenzied Baloth. I don't know. I also don't know how popular Slimefoot is. Round 4 against King Chala, that deck was good. That was blue-white control with a flash threat and finisher, and just Chala sticking on board. It felt like they always had 5 cards in it. Like, consider just being a draw 2 on their turn. Both Teferi's drawing 2, Brainstorm drawing 4. I think that's a deck I'll need more experience against. But also, like, on the play, I just ran them over. They did win game 1 when they were on the draw, but I didn't really know what I was getting into, and I think I could keep better hands against them in the future. And then round 5 against Captain America, I don't exactly know what that deck was doing that Aragorn wouldn't be, and it's like expensive removal in the command zone instead of hard draw and lifelink and vigilance. So not one I expect to see. And still not exactly sure what the game plan is other than maybe like Colossus Hammer. But this is the deck I will very well wind up playing just from a comfort perspective. It's the one I have the most reps with. Once I find out more of what the meta will look like in Amsterdam, I can bring the extra cards to swap or whatever. So right now it is between, I think, this Bridget and Felia. I don't think I want to play Blue-White Ang. It's just I'm not very good at playing it, but this deck feels, the Peter Parker deck feels like I have game against basically everything, and I'm a much better player in paper. So if you're still here and hanging out, thank you so much for dueling with me, and I'll see you on the next one.